Hello and welcome to the Magic Mirror podcast. I'm your host, as usual, Con the Trinket Mage, and with me is my co-host, 33 Elk.
Hello.
Additionally, we have our other co-host, Salubrious Snail.
Hello, hello.
All right, we got a fun video today. We are talking about cards in Commander that aged like fine wine. Cards that have gotten better, cards that will get better, and we're going to talk about why we think that is. But before we get into that and some questions from you, the audience, I need to tell you about Laughing Dragon's big event this 4th of July weekend, and that is Command Fest Tacoma. Get your tickets today to check out all the cool stuff they have there. And Alex, Fletcher, you two will be there?
Yep. Absolutely.
If you want to play Commander games with them and a bunch of other people, you should definitely check this out. Tacoma is just south of Seattle, if you're wondering where that is. And this Command Fest is going to have tons of stuff, lots of limited events. The new Marvel set will be out, so if you want to, play some limited events with that, there's going to be tons of stuff there. And actually, Elk, you have an event, right?
Yeah, there's only 16 slots for it. It's one day only. You can play my 2-headed giant cube. It's this little sanctioned event that they offered me, and I was like, hell yeah. I love cubes. So if you want to play my 2-headed giant cube, I'll be firing it there as an event. Come and play it.
If you want to do all that fun stuff, the link is in the description to buy your tickets today. So a lot of times we talk about, cards getting worse because they've been power crept. But there are cards that have actually gotten better over time, or were able to find new homes, or can continue to get better. I think the obvious example of this is probably Ristic Study, a card that has been legal in many formats for a long time, is completely garbage in 1v1. I mean, it's legal in Pauper if you really wanted to play it. Not good though. But in Commander, when there is 3 times the amount of opponents and you get 3 times the amount of triggers, the card is much better. So sometimes cards can get a new context and become better over time.
Yeah.
Well, so are we talking about better over time in Commander or better over time in general? Because I can find you 10,000 cards that are better in Commander than they are in 1v1.
Yeah, the exsanguinates of the world, etc.
Sure, yeah. So I just wanted to use that as an example of like a card that has aged well, I'll say. I'm going to use air quotes here, like it got stronger as the game changed. But I think what's more interesting would be cards that over the course of Commander, like over the last, let's say 5-6 years, have gotten better or will continue to do so.
I thought a lot about Hearthstone when you asked this question, honestly, Con.
Mm-hmm.
So for those that don't know, I used to play Hearthstone like all the time, like a full-time job when I was in high school, basically. Like it was like, I had a pretty bad addiction to that game. I would always scale up really high. And anyone who knows Hearthstone really well knows of Bran Bronzebeard. Bran Bronzebeard is this old card that came out with the League of Explorers. Also, I'll be talking about Reno Jackson as well. Everyone knows that card as well. Bran Bronzebeard is 3 mana for a 2/4, and it's basically a Panharmonicon. It doubles any ETB of any creature. So these kind of doubler cards actually do get better over time when more and better broken cheap ETB creatures enter the format, right? So that was the case for Bran Bronzebeard. I kind of wanted to argue that for like Teysa Karlov, a cheap, easy to deploy creature that is not that hard to cast. I think Teysa is one of these cards that is a very good example of something getting better over time.
Well, I think actually payoffs in general are going to be getting better over time. Even like Proliferate, you can think about as you get more cards with counters on them. Thrumming Bird definitely isn't going to feel worse unless you get better Proliferate cards. It's just going to feel better because the things you can do with it are going to get broader and broader, right?
Yeah, I mean, like even recently we got the Overlords in Duskborn. If someone impending is an Overlord, you can start proliferating up their counter so their Overlord wakes up later.
That's
right.
Funny.
Like there's all these funny things that Proliferate does. But I mentioned Reno Jackson as well, and that's because there's all these cards that care about like singleton decks. So think about something like Hermit Druid, for instance. Hermit Druid's already very strong. But the more we get these like channel lands and MDFCs and stuff that you can replace basics with, the easier it is to run Hermit Druid and the less of a deck building cost it is. I'm not saying Hermit Druid has a high deck building cost at all, by the way, but like it gets easier and easier the more of these like cards that get released. Right?
Oh no, I have to put Besaiger in my deck. Oh, what a tragedy.
No, anything but that. No, God.
What do you think about cards that care about having a high average mana value? Because I feel like there are almost competing pressures where as decks get more powerful, you want to run lower cost cards, but MDFCs pump up the average cost of your deck.
This podcast idea literally gave me the idea of Analyze the Pollen. And I was going to bring up this exact point Where I think Analyze the Pollen is a card that's going to get stronger with time because we keep getting Murktide Regents and MDFCs that increase the average mana value of a deck artificially and therefore make the collecting of evidence a lot easier.
Yeah, I feel like as they add more cards like Murktide Regent, having Delve, or anything with an alternative casting cost, all of those cards that are like deal damage equal to the mana value or draw cards equal to the mana value, like all of those just get better and better and better the more we have like alternative ways to like cheat things out.
Yo, my Blasted Genius is gonna be going crazy any day now. It's a bad uncommon from Return to Ravnica.
You mean an awesome Magic card?
I mean, it slaps. Hans runs it in his Lila deck and runs Eldrazi as well, and just like Kozilek's people for 10 with the card. But I mean, it's not good.
Get your Keen Duelist while they're still 25 cents.
True, Keen Duelist. Keen Duelist is a good card.
It's also just fun as fuck.
Although, is that one getting better? Because like, if you're running Keen Duelist, you're probably already running a lot of higher costed cards. But if more and more MDFCs get printed, then your opponent's mana values are going to get higher and higher over time as well, right?
I'm just hearing shorter commander games. That makes me smile.
Okay, but Alex is on to something here.
That is true. Yeah, no. Tasha's Hideous Laughter is getting worse over time. But this is a video about things getting better, so.
Okay, so how about this? Another one that I think gets a lot better is anything that's like a niche tutor. So Trinket Mage, as an example, right? As we get more cards that it can search up, the card just gets better. There's just more options. Now you can grab Vexing Bauble, which is actually a really useful card.
Oh, 100%.
Alex, your favorite tutor in the world, fucking Perplex, fits into this camp really nicely, I think. Because I think 3-drop is currently the like super uber bomb slot now.
Yeah.
Like think of all the Adelines of the world and stuff, broadside bombardiers.
Yeah. Well, actually, and I was noticing in the deck I built for the Wheel Pod a couple weeks ago, all of the good cards in the deck are 3 mana. So I could literally like add the black tutor that tutors for mana value 3, and it would honestly not be that bad. 3-drops are just good these days. Whereas they probably weren't when Perplex was printed.
Yeah, we need a Spell Snare for mana value 3. That's my pitch to Wizards.
That's so true. I would take mana value 2 or 3 for like a 2 mana card. Actually, no, that would be terrible.
Yeah, that would be pretty mid.
Mana value 3 or less, that would be okay. But still not amazing.
Teleria West also gets way better just because utility lands have gotten so much better. And same with the Urza's Cave.
I feel like I'm literally putting those in every deck now, especially after the printing of Talon Gates of Madara. Oh my god, that card is evil.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The horizons of modern come for us all.
I originally, my Safara deck, the mono white flying deck, it's a Voltron deck. I had like War Room and like other things like that, like card advantage engines in the land space. And I've recently swapped those out for Urza's Cave and Talon Gates. So now you can Talon Gates from hand, or if it's in the deck, you can Urza's Cave for it to protect the queen.
Yeah. Yeah, Talon Gates is so crazy, and Urza's Cave is also just like nuts.
Which is crazy because I feel like War Room was such a good card in like 2020 when it was printed. Like it's the fact the card draw engine on a land is crazy.
I still play it.
Yeah, I do too.
I have Throne of the High City instead, which gives you the Monarch.
Sure.
That's just because how the deck is though. Like War Room is definitely a B side grade option to this one.
Yeah, Throne of the High City is not bad, but it does require you to sacrifice it, right?
It does require you to sacrifice it, but luckily the stars are aligning for this deck where it's like a super low mana value deck. Like my curve ends at 5. And then also on top of that, it's very mana inefficient. Like it only plays one big threat and then it doesn't use the mana for the rest of the game except to protect that big threat. So I can just float that 4 mana and sack it with no issue to my curve at all, and keeping the monarchy super easy with all my indestructible flyers. Like the stars are aligning to make Throne of the High City better than War Room here.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I still play War Room, but it's another card that's like, I feel like actually War Room gets worse over time.
Yeah, well, I think more generic cards in general do, right?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I do think yes, generic removal of card draw gets power crept more easily. And I agree with you there. I meant that a lot of times Wizards will like print cards, commanders specifically, to converge archetypes into more multicolor. So like we get more black-green elf commanders, which kind of overtake the mono-green ones. And then, we have more Mardu vampire commanders and stuff. And like those kind of things happen over time. So people get pushed into more multicolor things. And I wish they printed more War Room effects to do the opposites, because I actually think War Room gets worse because there's more better multicolored commanders.
I think there's maybe a period of like, 2016 to 2022 where that was happening. But I don't think at this point we're probably seeing that much color creep. And we're still getting some sick monocolor commanders these days. So I would like to see more of this type of thing, though. More encouraging of monocolor.
When was the last like heavy monocolor commander that we got.
Like the last like cracked monocolor commander we got.
Yeah, I'm looking at Strixhaven. Sorry, we were tangenting. We don't actually have to do this.
Yeah, no, it is definitely a tangent, but it's also like, what is it?
There's Jadzi from Strixhaven, and then there's colorless commanders, but the monocolor ones are kind of like nothing. TMNT? TMNT had
TMNT probably has a
couple of monocolor ones. I don't know. Are any of these good? Like in the command zone, are they good?
There has to be one that's good in the command zone, right?
Super Shredder isn't terrible as a commander if you want to go Voltron.
Yeah, Super Shredder's fine. Wow, these do really suck. Madam Knoll, maybe?
Maybe monocolor commanders do suck. I take it all back.
I mean, this could be a whole podcast topic, but I actually think like we haven't gotten a good monocolor commander in like a hot minute.
Yeah.
And when we say good, do we mean like we're CEDHing with it? Like there's the power levels there, or is it like a cool build around? What do you mean by cool monocolor commander here?
I mean like reasonably strong and unique in the sense that there isn't another multicolor commander that very easily does what it does and does better.
Yeah. We can just pretend that Selvala came out yesterday.
Sure.
Oh my gosh, Selvala. Why aren't we talking about Selvala? This card's broken.
Selvala also does get better, right? Which one do you mean?
I mean original broken Selvala, not Explorer Return. Not the crappy Selesnya one. Or the other crappy Selesnya one. The insanely broken one that makes 15 mana on turn 2.
I thought the original one was the Selesnya one.
The one you combo with Phyrexian Dreadnought to win the game explosively quick.
That one's from Conspiracy. The mono green one's from Conspiracy Take the Crown. So yeah, the original one is the Selesnya.
Oh, wow. I always think of the original one being the mono green one, and that's for a good reason. It's broken. So... And the other one's just kind of like a fun group hug piece.
But this card also does get better. The more they have like weird cards, like creatures that have a strange restriction but have really high powers and you can get them down kind of early. All of those cards really benefit this commander like quite a bit.
Sorry, I got lost in the sauce looking at random red legendary creatures. What card are we talking about?
We're talking about a Selvala and
Selvala Heart of the Wild.
Yeah, because we just got the Trudge card too. Like think about the 1 mana 6/6 we just got in Strixhaven. Like as we get like funnier stat lines like that. More out there designs.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of those like really improve the power and speed and consistency of that deck, which is pretty cool.
What do you think about Tortured Existence? We of course had Hashaton, come out recently that made the card spike to like upwards of like $10, right?
It fell back down to 5, luckily.
It's back down now. I remember getting mine from a bulk bin.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
But Tortured Existence is one of these cards where it's like where you're able to just rebuy the same broken creature over and over again. Like it's a card that really does scale with power creep, leaving graveyard and discard synergies aside.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like this card in and of itself is just a really powerful engine.
If you just have this and like a squee, and then you have a broken creature you want to loop, you can just do that.
I think some of the biggest glow ups we've seen with cards have been ones like this that have like a super specific play pattern, but may not be powerful enough in their original context.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're actually like at a point now where I would like call certain decks Tortured Existence decks. Like this has been the case for a little bit in Pauper, and I think we're kind of actually like cresting that hill. Maybe we crested the hill a year ago, honestly, with the printing of Hashaton. But like, we now have like, this is my Tortured Existence deck. Whereas like, I think if you said that a decade ago, they go like, oh, you're running Tortured Existence. Not like it's a whole strategy, like hidden commander thing.
And Tortured Existence is hard to power creep because it is 1 black to play and 1 black to activate. It doesn't really get much more efficient than that.
Yeah, this
in
card
terms of mana cost.
This card is literally like a design mistake in certain regards in terms of like its power level for its time. And the fact that we're getting better and better cards today that like are worth more than a card. So you're totally fine just going 1 for 1 for it repeatedly. Like, I don't know, Tortured Existence is I think like the golden child example for this podcast video.
Stronghold has a lot of random weird stuff like that, like Burgeoning definitely, and like Mox Diamond. Like there's some like weird like power outliers in this set.
Yeah, another card that I think is very specific in play pattern, I have to imagine was like pretty bad at some point, is Cloudstone Curio. It's like a very weird card, but it's very, very powerful in certain circumstances.
Yeah.
You need kind of specific things lining up to turn it into like a crazy combo enabler.
Oh, I also want to say, I think Inala, Archmage Ritualist, is a card that I think will basically only get better because it has Eminence. So it's effectively mana cost is like 0 to get its effect. And then it just copies your wizards for 1 generic when they enter, even if your commanders play. This is already like a powerful enough commander that it sees CDH play. I don't imagine them printing a card stronger than Inala, but Inala always gets better because they print wizards all the time. And then you have new tools for this deck constantly.
Yeah, well, I think it's important to separate like the hyper specific Anala CEDH plan with like, what is it, Spell Shaper or whatever, from just like a generic person playing an Anala deck. Because I can imagine Anala being like a horrifying like bracket 3 commander in 5 years, depending on what they print wizards wise.
Yeah, like some sort of stupid wizard that like ETBs and does damage equal to the number of wizards you control or whatever. Like some like stupid idiot that like with an insane ETB.
Could happen. Yeah. There's going to be like a wizard centered set. We're going to get the Harry Potter set.
Oh,
gonna go ham.
Don't put that into the world.
2028 Anala, things looking big.
Copy Voldemort.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no. Maybe the Hobbit, reverse manifestation. Stack this one on top. This one actually comes true. Like the Hobbit has a cool Gandalf card in it, and everyone smiles and claps their hands.
Okay,
I would be surprised if there wasn't a new good Gandalf with a great ETB that Anala wants to copy. That's probably just happening.
They did print like legendary ETB doubler Gandalf in the last Lord of the Rings set, right? So maybe wizard ETBs are a thing.
Holy, this Secret Lair art for Anala is terrible. It looks illegible. What am I looking at?
Let me look at this.
So it's just the text box looks so weird. I guess it's just moved
this
up.
one.
I don't know.
I don't mind that.
The one that looks like a scroll. I kind of like this one. This one's pretty.
I like
really? I don't know.
It looks like it's like out of a spell book or something.
I might have to see it in person. I don't know.
It's actually readable on like a lot
The
of
art on it's really gorgeous.
It is readable, so I don't mind it that much. It's just kind of, it looks better with the now that I've zoomed in on it, but I don't know. It's kind of weird.
I love Anala's activated ability. I think that whenever there's a card with a design like decision like this where you can just tell that like the designers were scrabbling to like find a reason to like make it look somewhat fair.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's ever activated that ability.
I think they explicitly said that ability was added because
no one would play her.
Not even that, just because they were having trouble ending games with the precon.
I see.
Throw that on there. It's fine.
It's just so little text is left on the card.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about a interesting card that I think maybe will also get better with time. Are you familiar with Hellkite Corsair?
Yeah, that's the 6-mana one, right?
Yeah, that card's good.
It's a 6/5 with flying, and then when this creature enters, you may put a commander you own from the command zone onto the battlefield. It gains haste, return it to the command zone at the beginning of the next end step. So it cheats your commander in play. Mostly, I've seen people use this with like the Dragon, right? I think that's the most common use for it.
I feel like the most common for Hellkite Corsair is actually she ends the turn, Obeka.
Yes.
Yeah, you 6 mana, Obeka comes back into play, you tap Obeka, she stays in play. She doesn't go back to the command zone.
Yeah, which is cool. You do get to, but it's not that good with Obeka because Obeka's a 4-drop and this is like 6. So like you could just cast your commander.
Obeka's a little kill on sight is all. So like being able to cheat the commander tax after a while is actually really helpful.
That's true.
I feel like any card with commander in the text is going to get better with time. Like if I had to invest in like a bucket of cards to get better, anything that cares about your commander's mana value, anything that cares about the number of times your commander's been cast, these are going to be getting better.
Keep in mind that's if he had to invest. Don't invest in magic cards.
Oh yeah, please don't.
Gun to Alex's head if he had to invest in magic cards.
All right, so are you guys investing in Geode Golem?
Hell yeah, buddy. Geo Golem, my guy's popping off.
Big thing with Hellkite Corsair too is the more commanders we get with the wording of whenever this enters or attacks, it gets a lot better, especially expensive commanders.
That's true.
Right, because this is 6 mana. I get the enters and attacks effect of my commander the turn it enters. So like think about like even Borborygmos Enraged. If we ever get like more expensive idiots like that just need to be in play for 1 turn to kill someone, Hellkite Corsair is insane.
Or because it goes back to the command zone at the end step. If you don't care about that and you want the death trigger, you can use sack outlets to also cheat that.
Oh, if we ever get like another like uncastable from anywhere other than the graveyard commander, like that in red. It's his name in black.
Flage.
Not Flage.
Phage?
Phage would lose you the game.
Oh, Hakan. You're talking about
Hakan, thank you. Yeah, the one that lets you cast knights from your graveyard, and you can only cast him from the graveyard, so you have to find a way to awkwardly put him in your hand and then discard him in order to actually start using your commander.
I feel like all the ones I can think of are black, because there's that one, there is Phage, and then there is like some others that have to be cast.
Yeah, like Tetsamok.
Yeah.
Tetsamok, like with the reveal from hand thing,
right.
his mechanic. They're all black, which is just so cool.
I remember I needed to find one for the previous Civ 6 Ceremony deck I made last year with like the stupid 12 mana guy.
Iname.
Yeah, Iname.
Okay, so if we were to tell people, like give advice on what cards we think get better over time, what would we say? Like, what are some general trends? What is the through line between these cards we've listed?
They're typically non-generic cards, right? They're typically cards with very specific goals in mind. There's some exceptions to that rule, but generally speaking, if a card is going to get better over time, it's because it's doing something very specific, and it's one of the only things that does that.
Yeah. Also very synergistic, and especially if it's a payoff, because if a card's just like a good creature or a good removal spell or a good mana rock, that's not going to stay good forever. But if you have something that can take the power of something else and expand upon it, if you have like an amplifier card or a payoff that converts it into another resource, I think then you're seeing something that's a lot better. I think curiosity effects would be something to keep an eye on, because like we'll keep getting good pingers, and a 1-mana effect that does things when a creature deals combat damage or deals damage to somebody. It's just good.
I would say, yeah. So, I want to second both of the things that you said. I'll say also things that require something. So, like, Perplex requires good 3-drops to be in your deck. The more just options you have for anything that searches or like needs free spells or needs high cost spells, the more options you have, that gets better. So, a lot of times a card's power will go up because the thing that you needed it to get good was printed more frequently, so your consistency has increased. Do we want to say anything else about this topic before moving on?
Do we want to talk about what decks we think are going to get better? Because I feel like that's an interesting one.
What do you mean by that?
Like what archetypes?
What archetypes? Like Reanimator versus, Aristocrats versus Voltron? What's going to be the hot and happening thing in, 5 years?
Oh, interesting.
Since you mentioned Reanimator, I think that is definitely a prime contender. I think the more we get these Valgavots of the world, right? These like 4 EDH designs that explode the game in a very significant way. Like Villas is one of those from like M20 that was post EDH, but like think about like older reanimation targets. Like they're typically dealing with one opponent. Like what's the name of the one Archon in Orzhov that like exiles when it enters or dies? Like that's a great reanimation target for 1v1.
Oh yeah.
But it's a horrible one in Commander. And I think it's only just kind of recently that we've been getting these reanimation targets that like, are closers for Commander. Like if you have it in play and it stays in play, you will win. And I think
Did you mean Archon of Cruelty?
No, Ashen Rider.
Ashen Rider,
there
There's multiple Archons that are up there, yeah. But I know.
Yeah. It's type Archon, but its name is not Archon. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I agree with you that I think Reanimator gets better because it gets better when they print powerful creatures, and printing big high cost creatures is a thing that they probably will continue to do for a long time. I feel like Voltron gets worse.
Oh yeah.
I think it's like interaction has gotten so much better. There's a lot more cheap removal, free removal, a lot of that stuff. And I think that because Voltron is somewhat a higher salt archetype, I don't think that they're going to be printing. Like, when was the last good Voltron commander we got? Like, I think it's been a hot minute.
That's fair, but I also do think that Voltron isn't necessarily going to get left in the dust because as removal gets better, protection typically also gets better, right? Like think of Teferi's protection and stuff like this.
I don't think we're getting another Teferi's protection anytime soon.
That is definitely fair. I mean, Galadriel's dismissal is kind of getting close, but
that's true.
Yeah, if we get more clever concealment type stuff, Galadriel's dismissal type stuff, I think I could maybe see it. But in general, I think the removal arms race is going to continue onward. I think all forms of deck that need to keep cards in the graveyard over like multiple turn spans are going to continue to take L's. They're already taking plenty. They're going to keep taking more just because, graveyard hate's just going to keep getting randomly tacked on things. There are good graveyard hate MDFCs now, which, so it's just free. Your opponents don't even need to think about it. They can just jam a Boggart in their deck.
What archetypes do get better? I mean, artifact archetypes always get better. Always, because like if you just look at like EDH rec like themes listed or whatever, artifacts is up there as like one of the most popular themes because so many things count as artifacts. Like every time a good clue card is printed, that goes in a lot of artifact decks. Every time a good treasure card is printed, that definitely goes in a lot of artifact decks, right? And all these like small mechanics like tack on. If you just have a generic card that cares about artifacts overall, it's going to get way better the more you get this other niche mechanics that just happen to make artifacts.
Yeah, no, artifacts are great.
Yeah, I think any archetype built kind of around cheap stuff like aristocrats and artifacts like that are always just going to age really well because You can't get better than cheap, and that's something that's never ever going to be beat, I think, in Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Aristocrats is just very like sleek and like it's low mana value. It combos easily. Like it's just a very solid.
It's
type of deck.
very recursive.
I wonder if, like, just again looking at the themes here on EDA track, the most popular ones I see like tokens, counters, artifacts. It says combo, but that's just weird EDA track stuff. But like tokens and counters and life gain are some of the most popular. Those are probably some of the most commonly supported themes by Wizards. Do you imagine these archetypes just continue to get like 10 billion more tools that lead them to just continuing to get better? And do you feel like there comes a point where those archetypes are so pushed or something that other ones like Mill maybe kind of fall in terms of like general power level?
I think we're currently slaves to limited in terms of like constructed environments. Like I think designs are like more and more recently trending towards being good limited designs. And think about like these weird mechanics like Mill, like these weird decks. Those aren't really good in the limited environment, right? So you get a lot more +1/+1 counter cards than you do Mill cards because one's good for draft and the other one, it kind of doesn't create a good draft play pattern.
I think there are also other instances where how good an archetype is really depends on how much they print stuff that's good against it. Like life gain, I think in 5 years, it would be a pretty mediocre archetype if they printed the sorts of cards I want them to print. I love life total halving cards. I love cards that set players' life totals to a number, or half players' life totals, or
trade life totals,
or trade life totals. Just like
when's the last time we got a Skullcrack effect?
I like things that futz with life totals, even when it's just like futzing a little bit. Even if it's something that just like makes a player lose like a third of their life or a quarter of their life. I think if they were printing more of that stuff, life gain would get worse. But they haven't been printing a whole lot of that stuff, so I don't actually know.
I mean, we have been getting some screaming nemesises and etc. But
yeah, but like you don't play that in Commander, really.
Yeah, but you do play Sunspine Links.
Oh man, Sunspine Links, yeah, that card's crazy.
yeah. There Sunspine Links definitely has homes.
Honestly, I think Screaming Nemesis effects and was it like Whiplash Elemental Lash?
Oh yeah, I know the one you're talking about, the old one from the Lorwyn, Stigma Lasher.
Thank you, yeah, Stigma Lasher. I actually really like these effects in aggro decks. Like if you're playing an aggro deck, I really think you should be running some amount of this type of stuff because life gain gets tacked onto a lot of things, and when you run up against the life gain deck, it is really hard to do anything about.
Yeah, any red Bernie deck, I used to run a Zerzoth deck that's like tokens, impact tremors, goblin bombardment, that kind of red deck. And one of the key cards to winning against a lot of decks, like there was like Ailey deck in my old playgroup game store that like would just gain billions of life. And legitimately a key to winning the game against that player was very frequently, what's the red ley line that prevents life gain? Leyline of Punishment. There's a ley line that it prevents life gain and damage can't be prevented. So like your fogs don't work, your life gain doesn't work, and it's free sometimes. Sometimes it's just in your opening hand. And that card is incredible. I've also been a big fan of, like I mentioned already, Screaming Nemesis, Sunspine Links, but also it's tacked onto a lot of different cards. Like Rampaging Ferocidon's another one.
Man, I always want to play these cards when I get T-Pro'd.
No, T-Pro doesn't prevent damage, sadly.
It does.
Your life total can't change, right?
The way to get around it, there is one way to get around it, actually, which is commander damage.
There's Infect. Oh, yeah, and commander damage.
Yeah, Infect and commander damage can both punch through and kill a person through T-Pro. If you can stop them from doing whatever, like or any damage prevention cards, because they have protection from everything and their life total can't change, but they can still take commander damage if you manage to get around the damage prevention.
That's something.
Yes. Yeah. So if you can, stop damage prevention and you can hit them, then sure. It's still tricky. Sadly, Teferi's Pro still beats most things.
I want to see
and
an
this
arm
card
race.
is still this card is still $50, even though it has like actually a decent amount of reprints now. It's crazy.
Yeah, Teferi's Protection is like the white card when I think of white now. I don't even think of Smothering Tithe anymore. I think of T-Pro.
I mean, it's also, I say decent amount of reprints. There's like a bonus sheet and then another bonus sheet and then a secret layer drop. So like those don't like really count that much.
Yeah, there's been like secret layer drop, an avatar bonus sheet, and then 2022 and before stuff.
Yeah.
If I saw someone just get a Plains and write Teferi's Protection on it, I would not like. I wouldn't even need them to rule 0 it. I would just be like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we move on to the Beseech the Mirror section, we're going to do a little mini topic here in between. Did you guys hear that there is a new Secret Layer Hatsune Miku commander deck? And we know about this because somebody who ordered the Goblin Storm one accidentally received this one.
That's funny.
So it is Miku, Song of the People, who is an alt art of Tristani, Selesnia's voice. So it is not a unique design, it's just a reskin. And then they sent some pictures of it. I don't think they posted like a deck list or anything. This person is, I don't know, are they selling it, I guess? I think more than one person had gotten this, and they're selling it for 10K on eBay.
You can tell that it's not a real Magic player because they're calling it a holo deck and not a foil.
Yeah, this is clearly someone who I assume maybe...
Yeah, the nerdy satyr, you're a little bit of a poser, actually.
Maybe they bought that Goblin Storm deck without the purest of intentions. Which just says there's 57 bids. My question is, who would buy this for 10K? Because the product is just going to come out, and then you could buy it from a scalper for like $500.
Is it fake bids from eBay?
I was like, yeah, is this fake bids for eBay? I'm confused.
I don't know. Maybe like Elon Musk or some other like evil billionaire just really likes Hatsune Miku and really needs like another possession to fill the void in their life.
But other scalpers will sell it for like a nickel, right?
I don't know. I think this is fake in some way. I don't believe this.
I can't believe there cannot be someone who's spending 10K on an unreleased product that's just going to release at a normal price. This doesn't make any sense.
Maybe buying a secret lair deck off of eBay for 10K is more consistent than buying it from Wizards of the Coast. This one won't sell out in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, but you can buy the Goblin Storm one from eBay from scalpers for 500, right? Like the scalper prices are 5 times the cost of the box, but this is so much more than that.
Yeah, no, I'm more cracking a joke about like fucking like these secret lairs are impossible to get. Like,
yeah, it's so stupid.
We'll have like a 2-hour window where they're available during your 9 to 5, everyone. So go ahead and order it. Give us your money during that period. It's like they don't want us to buy things. Like legitimately, I've never seen a company want money less. It blows me away.
Well, it's because I assume what's happening with the way secret lairs work is they go to the printers, and because they rent the printers don't always print Magic product, right? And then they go to the printers, they're like, hey, how many days do you have open for printing? And they're like, we have this Thursday and this Friday is open for printing. Then they go, okay, this secret layer, we're going to print during that window. So for those 2 days, they just print as many of that secret layer as they can, and then they just put that up. So they're not losing money because they're just using any excess space that the printer has, and they're maximizing that amount of space. I assume that's what they're doing, because otherwise, yes, they would be losing a lot of money.
So like Secret Lair is just kind of like the runoff product that's like, we have extra printing time and we can just print this and then people buy it.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because if they did print to demand, they would have to like squeeze in all of those over the course of like however long, right? Because, it's like the printers are printing Magic cards and then they're printing, I don't know, other like books, and then they have a little bit of extra space, so they'll print some secret layers, as many as they can squeeze in. Again, take this with a grain of salt, by the way. I am like guesstimating here. I don't actually know how the process works, but I assume this is what they're doing. Otherwise, yes, they would be leaving a lot of money on the table, in which case they would do a different system. But this is what makes sense to me in terms of like how the business operates.
Anyway, I guess just take the sign that says days since quality control incident and just take it back down to 0.
For real. Yeah.
Speaking of printers, you guys want some questions hot off the press?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because while we're recording this, I uploaded the other podcast, so I can get questions that are very fresh.
The hottest questions on the block. Let's go.
These are the freshest questions. So I just like this random comment. Love getting to hear from Yusuf. Thank you for giving us insight into the culture and religion many people don't know about. It's very funny. You guys haven't seen it yet because I just uploaded it, but Yusuf has like a bit about Eid, like at the start. It's kind of funny. Okay. We have one mirror question from 20 minutes ago.
Please tell me it's good. I'm going to cry if it's bad.
It's from Ham is Good 12. We've answered their questions before. They seem to know what's up. Mirror, I tucked my own commander using Pawn Shop to ask. Is that a card? What the hell is Pawn Shop? Pawn Shop.
Sounds like some TMNT shit.
Shuffle. No, it's from Mercadian Masks. Shuffle target.
Rashadan Pawn Shop.
Cool.
It's the Rashadan Pawn Shop. Shuffle target card in play into its owner's library.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, wow. This sucks. What? This is what.
Oh, target non-token permanent you control into its owner's library.
This is one of the worst cards I've ever seen.
You can use it with that mono red commander that like puts dragons into play and then they get exiled at the end step. And you can keep
Yeah,
looping
I
dragons.
can imagine use cases for this. Yeah.
Oh, like a polymorph deck. Yeah, I guess so, right?
Yeah, if you want to re-polymorph into it.
I think your first polymorph should just win the game. That's my opinion, but
Also, if you have like threaten effects, you can steal something and then shuffle it into
And then shuffle it into their deck. Yeah.
I refuse to believe this is the best we have on the market for that. But yeah, this is definitely, you can do that.
Yeah, but it's cool.
There's like
it's got style.
I think there's Tell Jade Stylus.
Oh yeah. Tell Jalad Stylus. Tell -Jalad Stylus.
Yeah.
I remember looking at a Grenzo deck and processing that card.
Yeah, when I made that mono red dragon, I put this in there, not the Rashad and Pawn Shop.
Doesn't work with threaten effects, so there's still a niche.
Oh, can we use Rashad and Pawn Shop with like some extra turn loops? Probably. All right. Should we get to the actual question?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is going to be really anticlimactic if it's not a good question. Do you have any commander recommendations for a deck built around white zombify effects?
Yes, Niambi is Esteemed Speaker. Niambi is 2 mana for a flash human cleric in Azorius. When Niambi enters, you may return another creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, you gain life equal to that creature's mana value. And then, activated ability alert, 1 white blue tap, discard a legendary card, draw 2 cards.
Good commander.
3 mana, discard giant fucking idiot that legendary that you probably want to reanimate. Draw 2 cards, reanimate it. On the back end, it's actually like also a so you have the discard outlet in the command zone, so you don't have to run discard outlets in your deck. You can just run the zombifies. And then it can also like act as a little bit of a protection spell where you're able to like bounce something back to your hand if you want to like recast it or whatever. I don't know. It's an interesting card. Definitely very good for like an Azorius reanimator kind of strategy. So, and you get blue for counter magic. That's very important for a reanimator deck, is being able to protect the threats you reanimate from removal, because typically you're spending multiple cards to get that threat into play before schedule. So a removal spell on it is actually more impactful than a removal spell on a normally developed threat. You need protection spells, and having blue added to white is just a really good way to go about doing that.
Speaking of cards that got better, this wants legendary creatures, right? And there are so many more legendary creatures. You have way more options for this deck. This commander has, I think, gotten a lot stronger. I should also clarify white zombify effects. Zombify is a reanimation spell. So what this user means is cards like Breath of Life, which just is a 4 mana sorcery that reanimates a creature in white.
Yeah, but anyway, Niambi's like my first snap like pick for like a non-black white reanimator deck.
That's a good serious suggestion. For a funnier suggestion, go for Spell Shaper Legend, Maggot of the Lion.
Yes. Oh. Yo, can you read out this card for the audience?
Yeah, it's a 5 mana 3/3. 4 tap, discard 2 cards from your hand, destroy all creatures except for Maggot of the Lion. Those creatures can't be regenerated. So you can reanimate indestructible creatures, or you can just like reanimate creatures after using the ability, and then they won't have competition on board. That's pretty cool.
You know what you should reanimate? My favorite reanimation target for that deck is Lord of Iganjo.
Yes.
There's a 7 mana 3/3.
You're so
with
right.
Vigilance, Indestructible, and Bushido 5.
You're cooking.
I just picked up a Spanish or Portuguese copy of this, and it says Senor de Aganjo, and it's kind of awesome.
Senor
cool as
de
hell.
Ganjo.
We love Senor de Aganjo.
That's up
I'll
there with
put-
Adios Farewell.
It's really good. I'll send a picture of it so Yusuf can put it on screen. It's really awesome. I'm playing a Boros deck that kind of leans Reanimator now. My Flage deck sort of does this because Flage already wants you to fill your graveyard with random crap. So I'm playing a bunch of looting effects. So I'm kind of considering making that more of a Breath of Life deck anyway. I need more things to reanimate my Senor de Aganjo, so I would say Flage.
Yeah, it's a nice plan B too. If Flage can't quite get there, you can just start reanimating big fucking legends instead of using them as escape fuel.
Yeah, I literally have like Zatalpa in there and late to dinner, so I can be like, all right, well, here's my Zatalpa I'm going to reanimate.
Sorry, I'm too busy gawking at Maggot of the Lion here. This art is so cool.
It's so cool.
It's so awesome. The legendary spell shapers make you discard 2 cards to cast their spell.
Because the spells are so good.
They're so powerful, right?
What's the shitty black one? It's like Greem,
It's
the
Mind
Mindraker. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
really bad. There's another one too, right?
There's one for every color.
I thought there was a Volrath that was a spell shaper.
Oh, yes, there is, but he's not part of this legendary cycle from Prophecy.
Oh, Volrath the Fallen. He isn't even a spell shaper. I'm just misremembering. He discards things to do things, but yes.
Oh,
You can't discard any card. You can only discard creatures, so that's not a spell shaper.
Yeah, this is not a spell shaper.
yeah. He has been eroded as a Phyrexian shapeshifter.
We should just bring back Creature Legend. That should be the only thing. Creature Legend, this counts as a merfolk. Shit like that.
Yeah.
This counts as a merfolk. All right, let me go to Spotify to get some other questions. Maybe I'll get a fresh question because I posted on Spotify too, so maybe we'll get some fresh questions there. Mirror, I minus my mind-slavered opponent's Soren Markov, setting my own life total to 10, to ask, this is from Simone Brady, by the way, I have consistently been unable to win after building an insurmountable board. Well, then it wasn't very insurmountable, was it? I want to somehow turn that into a win to put my friends out of their misery. So are they, what I understand from this comment is they're like locking the board down, but not able to turn the corner. So it takes a long time. So what are some like standalone finishers we can recommend that like let you do that?
I'm trying to think of like what's the bare minimum card you need in play to win the game, and I think the answer is like Avacyn Angel of Hope, like a 8 power flying moron that can like lay down the beat down a little bit. What I like about Avacyn is that she buys time for you because she makes all of your other shit indestructible, and she has vigilance and indestructible. So you have blockers forever and you're able to just like one-sidedly flying hit them. I think if you wanted to get like a little bit like instead of like a B plus thing, like a more of like an A range kind of threat, it's like gotta be Valgavoth, the 9 mana one. Like that's the benchmark single card threat I can think of.
I think there's gotta be something that deals damage to opponents that's good enough, or drains opponents, right?
I feel like you picked things that cost way too much, man. I'm just gonna say Flage again.
Well, I'm thinking about like reanimating them and cheating them into play. I'm not paying 9 mana for a card.
Sure. But that's only if they're like a reanimator deck. But like for standalone threats, all the Titans are pretty good because they all are like 6/6s and generate value and do like tons of damage. And then also things like I have all the Boros commanders up, so I'm just thinking about
Starlight Spectacular.
Starlight Spectacular. No, I was thinking Othari Sun's Glory.
Othari's very good.
Because it's just like an army in a can. It just scales up and up and up and just cranks up more and more damage.
Yeah, Vintage Cube staple. Othari.
It's a good card.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. I don't know if like giving you threats really solves your problem, viewer, and I'm going to explain why. I think the main thing you need to be doing is kind of just assessing the clock that you're putting on your opponents and not necessarily, oh, big threat. Like you're not looking this like, you're looking at it in the abstract, but not in like the detail oriented thing where it's like your opponents each have 40 life that you have to burn through. How much is your average board? Like how much time does your average board take to burn through that life total? And is there protection spells and stacks that can slow down your opponents that can make that game last longer so you get there? Or do you have like an overrun that can pump up and accelerate the board, right? It's not really like, there's not one card fits all here. It's more of like, what is your deck doing? What is your clock like? And how can you accelerate or give your clock more time?
I do kind of agree with that. I don't think like build a control deck, figure out a win con later is really a great deck style. You need to figure out what your deck is doing.
All right, next question. This was a fun one. Neil David asks, Mirror, I make infinite clue, food, and treasure tokens to ask, do you guys prefer to keep all of your tokens in one place, or do you keep certain tokens with their decks they go with?
With their decks.
With their decks, what I do is I have the deck and then I have all the tokens in a different color sleeve. Typically, I'll go with clear. And then I'll have commander in a different color sleeve on top of the tokens as a divider between it and the 99.
Oh, so yeah, I have my tokens are all in a token box that I bring around.
That's what my friend Jared does.
I'm not that organized.
Yeah, other than like clues, treasure, food. I think those are the only, and like the 3/3 beast from Beast Within. Those are like the only like magic tokens I use commonly. It said it's just a bunch of like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards in a box.
Oh, fair.
And I just use those as tokens.
Oh, no, what my friend Jared does is he kind of just like Noah's Ark's magic tokens around. So he'll have like 2 zombies in this thing, 2 clues, just 2 of like every token that you could possibly need. And you can just pull them out.
See, I like to have 3. I feel like I want 3 of each because then I can do like untapped, tapped, and untapped with summoning sickness and have that in like 3 separate piles.
That is pretty nice. You wouldn't catch me dead doing that with like a Fable of the Mirror Breaker token or something. Like that one's still like $8 or something.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, I use a Yu-Gi-Oh card for that, but
yeah, I typically just use spin downs in different orientations for that kind of thing. But
also with the Fable, it's like you only make 1 of them really, maybe 2 at most if you copy it with the actual flipping Fable. I don't think I meant for like zombie tokens or something.
Maybe you're just not ambitious.
Something I'll make like
Fable.
10 of. Yeah.
I know a lot of people out there that like don't use tokens at all. And that's fine. I think you're allowed to just like go like, here's a die on the table. These are soldiers. But where it crosses the line into freakhood, in my opinion, is when you generous gift my shit. And then you're like, oh, I don't have the token for it. Just do something. That's what I'm like, You little worm.
That's why I have
Okay.
the beast. I don't have the elephant, but I have the 3/3 beast, and it's close enough.
Okay, I am that person. However, I will hand them a card and put a die on the corner of it with the power at least.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, you need to have something in mind though. If you're gifting me a fish, I do not want it unless you give it to me. I need a
I will
treat.
construct some bullshit for them, but I do not have the actual token.
I hate putting dice on tokens. This is like a pet peeve of mine. And people do this all the time where they put dice that like isn't necessary. You know, they'll be like,
This is what I
oh,
do.
here's my 2/2 zombie. So I'm going to put a 2 on it, but I'm putting a counter on it. So I'm going to put another dice over here. And then I have like 3 of them. So I'm going to put another dice over here. And I'm like, stop, please.
Oh, I do that shit, yeah.
I do that.
It's so confusing.
I put a die where the power toughness box would be if the power toughness is relevant. I will also do that with like, what are the cards that like exile cards and then create token copies of them? I will use the actual card with a die in the corner so that I remember the actual card is in exile. And also they have that set toughness. So like Nexus of Becoming is one of those. The other one
Yeah.
is
God Pharaoh's Gift?
God Pharaoh's Gift.
I don't know.
yeah.
I also hate it when people have like an anthem effect and they start putting dice.
No.
Okay, yeah, I hate that.
They're like, oh, I have all my guys get +1/+1. So I'm going to put a +1/+1 dice on all my dudes. And I'm like, stop, please. It's so unnecessary.
That one made me real in real life. That one actually like got to me. I do not fathom it. What I like is when people have like multiple anthems in play and they have like a spin down at the top that like shows
Yeah.
their total buff across their board. That's cute. I like
That's
that.
fine. That's fine. Do that if you want to.
if you put it on like a non-creature permanent or like off to the side of your board and somewhere very clear, I think that's fine. But yeah, when it's just all over the place or on the creatures, I want to die.
And then they're also putting counters on the creatures. So like this one has a +5. And I'm like, okay, but 4 of those are counters. One is the anthem. That is not the same thing.
I think if you have more than like 10 spin downs on the board at one time, I'm miserable. Like that is like just like a 1-to-1 correlative thing. Like if you need more than 10 spin downs at any point in the game, I've become uninterested in this game. Maybe that's a little bit of hyperbole, but like I feel like the joy of Magic decreases the more dice that come out.
Honestly, might be kind of true. It does take forever playing a proliferate deck to like futz with all the dice. I'll still do it because I like proliferate, but it takes forever.
It does take forever.
My favorite thing to do in the world is to like collect one of each like gameplay aid and token for my deck that I need. So like I have the, you know, like the shitty like pre-release pop out, like this enters prepared little token, the little rectangle. I like that one so much. I have them in all of my commander deck boxes that have a card with prepared in it.
Nice.
I don't just use like a spin down on the
I feel
card.
like I want like a metal. I want like a metal token for that.
Yeah, Travis has them for his suspects. He has the actual suspect.
Yes, he has actual nice suspect things. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys good? Do you want to say anything else?
I mean, I don't think we had much dead air in this podcast, did we?
No,
Besides
I don't
us
think so.
talking about things. which
We
is-
were yapping.
Yeah,
it was good. We said something for Eid last time. We didn't say anything for Pride Month this time.
Yeah, true. I mean, this is my jam, I guess. I guess it's Alex's too, but like he's only halfway there, so.
Mm.
Is that it? We're leaving it on that?
I guess so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What if Yusuf gave like a 30-second explanation of what Pride Month is at the end?
Happy Pride Month. Yusuf here to give you a little bit of info about this wonderful event. Pride Month happens in June, commemorating the Stonewall Riots, which began in the early hours of June 28th, 1969, after police raided the Stonewall Inn, a gay bar in the Greenwich Village neighborhood of New York City. Pride Month typically involves a series of events and is often capped by a parade involving marchers and colorful floats from the LGBTQIA+ community and its supporters.